Hey people, it's Nias talking. It's been a long time since I've done a stream of consciousness video where I've just sort of talked about my thoughts. But something I saw recently, just like maybe 20 minutes ago, brought this idea. I was on a page on Instagram called The Black Detour, and they were talking about Huckleberry Finn and how black students had to listen to a white teacher and white students reading out the N-word over and over. And someone said in the post, there was not the white teacher's permission to give for them to start saying that in front of us. And I was talking to somebody in the comments, and they were talking about, I hated The Great Gatsby, Huckleberry Finn, and To Kill a Mockingbird. And To Kill a Mockingbird really made me think. And I said back to them, it's so acclaimed, but what is it really? It just says everything we already know. A black person being courtroom lynched but under an oppressive system in full view of everyone. We see this every single day. Like, I'm on social media, I see stories of people being released, people being cleared after 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in jail. And everyone's like, oh, it's so sad. And it makes me sick, because whenever we see some black person having aggression done towards them by the cops, people will pull up whatever they supposedly did years ago and say, well, supposedly he has these charges, as if we don't know the cops frame black people over and over and do this all the time. And I thought the whole To Kill a Mockingbird, it started to make me feel sick, because I thought this white woman is making money and a career off of marketing this fictional lynching of a black man, whereas the victims of anti-black violence get nothing. It started to make me feel sick, and I thought there has to be some type of term for it. They say cultural appropriation. I thought that doesn't fit, so I created the title that I'm using for this video, Death Royalty. It's a royalty that's being paid for the death of black people. So To Kill a Mockingbird is based off the death of black people, and you see this all the time. After George Floyd, people were doing like magazine covers, footage, all sorts of things. And when all these riots were happening, and one particular one that really struck me is that I don't know where this was, somewhere in the Carolinas, some glass had been broken in the riots, and someone had collected the glass and made glass sculptures and named them after the victims of police brutality. And these were not for sale. I mean, these were for sale, and it wasn't to say that any part of the profits would go to the victims of these families or that they'd even been consulted. It was just being done, and I just thought, wow, this is so sick. And it's not even like maybe a few years down the line when people have kind of had some time to grieve and move on after the events. It's just like, get the profit off of it as soon as you can. And it brings me to a lot of other points. Black death is a multi-billion corporation, and black suffering. All these slave movies that make black people look like degenerates, portraying black people as evil. That's why Black Panther was so big, because it was one of the few positive things. Or the hip-hop industry, like every rap song, it seems to feature guns, drugs, murder, to the point where when I heard that rapper being killed, I said, why are people so shocked? It's all they talk about, and they're always speaking about death and murder and crime. And I thought, one thing that I thought black people need to do is to stop going along with people who, make these industries, because to some extent, they're going to do what they're going to do. But black people need to stop supporting it, because people sort of think, oh, it's commemorating or remembering the victims. I don't think so. A lot of this just seems like profiting off of suffering. In fact, in Islam, there's a term called barakah, the idea that your money has to come from a good and just source. It can't be money that's created via evil means. Otherwise, it will always come with suffering. Yeah, okay. And it also brings me to a post I made a while back, and I reposted it recently. And I said about, you know, I know that the ancient Egyptians were black because of how people treat black bodies and black death. You know, the ancient Egyptians, I mean, the current Egyptians, not the, they dug up some of them, the Egyptian royals, and moved them through the streets of Cairo like a victory parade. And I was just like, wow, this is, again, just really sick and disturbing. And I thought it's the way people treat black bodies, like from lynching black people and dismembering them and taking their body parts as souvenirs, to parading them around and putting them in museums. I thought the way people treat black bodies, and like I said, the prophetization of black bodies, shows that the ancient Egyptians were black, because no other group of people have their bodies treated in this sort of trophy ceremonial way, like it's a prize to be displayed. I mean, you don't really see skeletons of these ancient Greeks and Romans in there. I mean, I know a lot of them probably can't be found, but they never even, I don't think they would even if they could. Anyway, this was like just a stream of consciousness. I hope it makes sense to anybody watching, because it's not planned. It's just as I'm thinking. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel, leave my Cash App. And I'll leave my other links, if you want to buy my t-shirts, and my link to my Instagram there as well. Peace.